Let me ask you something that might sting a little. You're in your 30s, you're showing up to work, you're paying your bills on time. Maybe you've got a little saved up, but you look at your friends, posting vacations, buying new cars, upgrading apartments, and somewhere deep inside you wonder, am I falling behind? Here's what nobody tells you. The person quietly winning with money almost never looks like they're winning. And the person broadcasting their lifestyle is often one missed paycheck away from a crisis. There's a study found the majority of people who appear wealthy, the visible consumption, the premium everything, are actually carrying debt loads that would shock you. Meanwhile, the real wealth builders, they're invisible, they're boring on the surface, and they are decades ahead. So today, we're going to talk about the signs, the quiet, easy to miss, almost invisible signals that you are genuinely building wealth in your 30s while everyone around you is watching and not seeing it. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will either feel deeply validated or you will have a clear emotional reason to change one thing starting today. Either way, you win. If success is your goal and you're ready to level up, make sure you subscribe. Every video is crafted to move you closer to the life you deserve. Let's go. Point 1. You've stopped trying to explain your financial decisions to people. There's something that happens to people in their 20s that follows them into their 30s like a ghost. The desperate need to justify why they didn't spend money, why they skipped the trip, why they drove the older car, why they didn't upgrade their phone. You probably know someone who does this. Maybe you've done it yourself. Oh, I just don't really like traveling that much, or my old phone works fine. But underneath it, there's this low-grade anxiety of what people will think. Here's the psychological shift that separates wealth builders from everyone else. In his landmark book, Die with Zero, Bill Perkins talks about the concept of optimizing life energy. But what he reveals about people who actually accumulate wealth is this. At some point, they stop seeking external validation for internal financial decisions. It sounds simple. It is not easy. When you stop explaining yourself, you've crossed a threshold most people never cross. You've internalized that your net worth isn't a performance. You're not competing in someone else's race. And that psychological independence, that's not just emotional freedom, it translates directly into dollars. Ask yourself this, when was the last time you bought something not because you wanted it, but because saying no felt embarrassing? Because if that still happens regularly, that's the leak. That's where your future is quietly draining out. The transformation here isn't about becoming cold or antisocial. It's about the deep inner confidence that comes from knowing where you're going, even when no one around you can see it yet. And speaking of things people can't see, the next sign is something most people misread entirely as a problem when it's actually proof they're doing something right. Point 2. You feel boring about money, and that boredom is your superpower. Let's be honest, wealth building in your 30s is not exciting. It doesn't have a great highlight reel. There's no viral moment for I maxed out my Roth IRA for the 5th consecutive year. Nobody's putting that in their Instagram story. And yet, this boredom, this almost numbing consistency, is the foundation of every significant financial transformation you've ever read about. Here's the counterintuitive truth. Your brain is neurologically wired to find novelty more pleasurable than repetition. Dopamine spikes when you buy something new. It flatlines when you automate a transfer to your investment account. So the very act of building wealth requires you to override a primal instinct, and most people lose that battle every single month. Humans consistently overweight exciting, visible outcomes and underweight quiet, compounding ones. This is called the availability heuristic, and it's bankrupting people who are smart enough to know better. Here's the data that should hit you right in the gut. A person who invests $400 a month consistently from age 30 to 60 with no other changes accumulates approximately $486,000, assuming a 7% average annual return. But a person who invests inconsistently, jumping in and out based on excitement or fear, captures roughly 40 to 50% less in actual returns, according to Dalbar's annual quantitative analysis of investor behavior report. The gap isn't the market. The gap is behavior. The question to sit with is this: are you chasing the thrill of the financial move, or are you trusting the process of quiet accumulation? Because the people getting rich in their 30s have made peace with being boring about money. They said it. They forget it, they live their life, and they let time do the heavy lifting. This next sign is one I want you to pay very close attention to, because it looks like a character flaw on the surface. But it's actually one of the most powerful signals of financial maturity that almost no one talks about. Point 3. You've gotten comfortable sitting with discomfort instead of spending through it. Think about the last time you had a really stressful week, a bad day at work, a fight with someone you love. A Monday that just wouldn't end. What did you do? Did you order food you didn't plan for? Did you buy something online at 11 p.m. because it felt like a small reward you deserved? This is called emotional spending, and it is one of the most powerful silent forces destroying the financial futures of otherwise intelligent, motivated people in their 30s. The American Psychological Association found that 33% of adults cite money as a significant source of stress, and the most common response to that stress? Spending more money. It is a cruel, self-reinforcing cycle. Morgan Housel, in The Psychology of Money, makes an observation that changed the way thousands of readers think about wealth. He writes that financial outcomes are less about intelligence and almost entirely about behavior, and specifically about how you behave when emotions are high and logic is temporarily offline. The person who can sit with discomfort, who can have a hard day and not reach for their wallet as therapy, is playing a completely different game than almost everyone else. Here's something culturally fascinating that most Western personal finance content never talks about. In Japanese culture, there's a concept called gamen, the practice of enduring difficulty with patience and dignity. Research on savings behavior across cultures consistently finds that societies with higher tolerance for delayed emotional gratification also demonstrate significantly higher household savings rates. This isn't coincidence. The muscle you build by sitting with discomfort instead of spending through it is the same muscle that compounds your net worth year after year. So the next time you're stressed and your finger is hovering over the checkout button, pause and ask yourself, am I solving a problem or am I numbing a feeling? That one question, if you ask it honestly, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars over the next decade. You're redesigning what a good life looks like on your own terms. At some point in your 30s, if you're on the right path, something quietly shifts in how you define a great life. You stop looking at the highlight reels and start making a more personal, more deliberate inventory of what actually makes you feel good. Not what looks good, not what your college friends would approve of, what actually feels good. This is more than a lifestyle choice. It's a wealth accelerator. The people quietly building wealth in their 30s have started to close that gap. They spend intentionally on what genuinely fills them. A cooking class instead of a designer jacket, a weekend road trip instead of a luxury hotel, a deeper emergency fund instead of a new gadget. And they feel richer for it, not deprived. That's the paradox that people on the outside can never quite understand. The question worth asking yourself right now: if you stripped away what you're supposed to want and asked only what you actually want, would your spending look different? For most people, the honest answer to that question is the beginning of a completely different financial story. And here's what I want you to hold on to before we get to the final sign, because this last one is the one that separates people who understand wealth from people who actually build it. And it has almost nothing to do with money at all. Point 5. You're investing in your earning power as aggressively as your savings. Most conversations about wealth building in your 30s focus entirely on what you do with the money you already have. Save more, spend less, automate, index. And all of that matters, deeply. But there's a dimension that almost no one talks about with the seriousness it deserves, and it's this. In your 30s, your greatest financial asset isn't your portfolio, it's your earning capacity. Warren Buffett, across multiple Berkshire Hathaway shareholder letters, has emphasized that the investment with the highest long-term return is almost always investment in yourself. Not real estate, not equities. Yourself, your skills, your reputation, your network, your health. People who are quietly building wealth in their 30s are taking courses. They're investing in coaching or mentorship. They're raising their rates or asking for the raise others only think about. They're saying yes to uncomfortable opportunities that force them to grow. They understand at a bone-deep level that you cannot save your way to the life you want. You have to grow your way there. Here's the truth I want to leave you with. Building wealth in your 30s almost never makes you the loudest person in the room. It doesn't get you the most likes. It won't always feel exciting or validated or even noticed. But it is the most important, most powerful, most life-changing work you can do in this decade. And the people doing it are doing it quietly, consistently, and with a clarity about what they actually want from life that most people never find. Know in the comments what you have gained from this video so that we can improve and keep doing that better. Don't forget to share this video with at least one person who will get some insights, because one video is enough to give people enough ideas to change their lives. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.